Good afternoon, student. Now we are going to start new lesson, ionic equilibrium. In 11th standard, we have seen chemical equilibrium, in which we have seen how the extent of reaction, which is decided by the conditions on which reaction is carried out. Okay, now see, first we are going to see definition of ionic equilibrium. Okay, now what is the definition of ionic equilibrium? The equilibrium between ions and unionized molecule is called as ionic equilibrium. Okay, now see once again, what is the definition of ionic equilibrium? The equilibrium between ions and unionized molecule is called as ionic equilibrium. Okay, now for example, you have seen generally we are writing the dissociation of H2O. Now H2O is dissociate into H plus and OH minus ions. Now see H, once second. Now see once again. Okay, now see H2O. Okay, now remember one thing, equilibrium reaction is always denoted by this like arrow. That means one arrow in forward direction and one half-headed arrow is in backward direction, and it produces H plus OH minus ions in aqueous solution. Okay, so such type of reactions are called as ionic equilibrium. Now most of the compounds, or there are so many compounds which shows ionic equilibrium. Now we can see another examples of ionic equilibrium are, we have reactions between ions of salt and ions of water. For example, if we have seen NaCl, for example, if we have seen Na plus plus Cl minus ions. Now see Na plus plus Cl minus plus H plus plus Cl minus. Okay, now so whatever may be reaction taking place in between these, so they are also called as ionic equilibrium. Now the solid salt and its ions in water. Now for example, we can see, now what are the again examples of solid salts and its ions in water, or we can simply say it as what, see, if we considered NaCl, okay, now in water, that means we are going to denote it by AQ at the base. Now see, for example, NaCl in aqueous. Now this aqueous means what? This aqueous is nothing but salt in water. Okay, now this salt is in equilibrium. Okay, equilibrium is denoted by this double-headed arrow, is in equilibrium with Na plus. Okay, Na plus in aqueous plus Cl minus in aqueous solution. Okay, now see such reactions, or we can also say it as a what, ionization of weak acids and weak bases. Okay, now in the next we are going to see what are the strong acids, weak acids, strong bases and weak bases. Okay, now see, we have, before this we have seen the classification of substance in different ways, or classification of matter in different ways. Okay, that means the matter is divided into elements, mixtures and compounds. Again These are further divided into metals, non-metals, metalloids. Then homogeneous mixtures are divided into homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Compounds are divided into monoatomic compounds and polyatomic compounds. Okay, in the same way, now we are going to differentiate or classify the substances depending on the dissociation of compounds. Okay, now see, substances are divided into two types. Which two types? Electrolytes and non-electrolytes. And these electrolytes are further divided into strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Okay, now see one by one. Now what are the electrolytes and what are the non-electrolytes? How we can define it in scientific manner? Now see, first one upon electrolytes, the substances which give rise to ions when dissolved in water are called as electrolytes. That means when we added any compound in water, it produces their positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Okay, if they are producing the positively charged ions and negatively charged ions, then we can say that substances as a electrolytes. But when the substances which does not ionize and exist as a molecule in aqueous solution are called as are called as are called as non-electrolytes. Okay, now see further, that means the substances, if we dissolve any salt in water, then it is as it is it's not going to dissolve in water, then such electrolytes are called as non-electrolytes. Or we can say it as a what, although they are dissolved in water, they are not going to produce the positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Okay, for example, we can say it as a what, urea and sugar. Although the urea is soluble in water, sugar is soluble in water, but they are not going to produce positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. They are dissolved in water due to the hydrogen bonding. Now here you are going to learn one new concept. Now the why the compounds are dissolved in water. Now first one basic reason is that although either they can form any interactive forces, or we can say it as what, polar dipole interactions, or polar induced polar interactions, or we can say it as what, hydrogen bonding. If such type of forces are present, then they can dissolve. Or another reason is that they are going to dissociate themselves to form positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. See the electrolytes are divided into strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Now what is meant by strong electrolytes and what is meant by weak electrolytes? Or we can also say it as what, on which basis we are going to classify the electrolytes into strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. The basic reason is that the extent of dissociation, that means if we put or mixed any substance in water, then it dissolved in water completely or partially, or in little amount or in more amount. Depending on that, the electrolytes are divided into strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Okay, now see the definition of strong electrolyte and definition of weak electrolytes. Okay, now those electrolytes which are dissociate almost completely. Okay, now such electrolytes are called as strong electrolytes. Okay, now see the definition. The electrolytes ionize almost completely in their aqueous solution. Such electrolytes are called as strong electrolytes. And opposite to that, the electrolytes which dissociate in smaller extent in aqueous solution are called as weak electrolytes. Okay, now see examples of strong electrolytes and examples of weak electrolytes. Okay, now generally strong acids, strong bases and salts are the examples of strong electrolytes. Okay, now which are the strong acids? Now hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid and nitric acid, these are the strong acids. Okay, and they are dissociate in water almost completely, so they are called as strong electrolytes. In the same way, strong bases like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Now see here, sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Okay, they are also dissociate completely in water, so they are also called as strong electrolytes. And similar to strong acids and strong bases, salts are also strong electrolytes. For example, sodium chloride, ammonium chloride, silver nitrate and sodium acetate. These are the few examples of strong electrolytes. Okay, now see, we are going to see weak electrolytes. Now the electrolytes which dissociate to a smaller extent. Okay, smaller extent means, that means if they are dissociate in lesser amount, then they are called as weak electrolytes. Now what are the examples of weak electrolytes? Weak acids and weak bases are the examples of weak electrolytes. For example, acetic acid CH3COOH, and weak bases, for example, ammonium hydroxides. These are the weak electrolytes. Okay, now see, the ionization reactions are represented by double headed arrow. Okay, now double headed arrow means, now the arrow in this way. Okay, now upper arrow denotes the forward direction and down arrow denotes the backward direction. That means the salt and their ions are in equilibrium. They might be a strong acids or weak acids, but the ionization of reaction, or we can say it as a what, ionic equilibrium, are denoted by double headed arrow. Okay, now see one question we are going to see. Now which of the following is strong electrolyte and which of the following are weak electrolyte? Okay, now we have to classify these given compounds into, or given substances into, strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. What we have given here? HF, hydrogen fluoride. Second, silver chloride, AgCl. Now the next, calcium sulfate, CaSO4, sodium acetate, NCH3COO, Na, and H3PO4 means phosphoric acid. Okay, now see which are the strong electrolytes and which are the weak electrolytes. Okay, now see the strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Okay, now out of these, only calcium sulfate and ammonium acetate, these two are salts. Okay. So these are the strong electrolytes, while hydrogen fluoride, phosphoric acid and calcium sulfate, these are the weak electrolytes. Okay, now next we are going to see degree of dissociation. Now what is meant by degree of dissociation? Now the extent of dissolution or extent of dissociation of salt in water, whether it is dissociated in higher amount or whether it is dissociated in lesser amount, it is denoted by degree of dissociation. Okay, now see, degree of dissociation, or we can say it as a what? It is a fraction of total number of moles of electrolyte that dissociate its ions when equilibrium is attained. Okay, now see, for example, if we have taken here 100 of any substance, okay, and these substance are going to be dissociated, only 50 are positive ions are formed and 50 are negative ions are formed. Okay, that means the only 50 molecules are dissociated into their positive ions and negative ions, while the 50 are remains as it is. Okay, so this is called as a degree of dissociation. That means total number of molecule dissociated out of total number of molecules. Okay, so it is called as degree of dissociation. Now see, degree of dissociation of an electrolyte is defined as a fraction of total number of moles of electrolytes that dissociate into its ions when equilibrium is attained. Okay, that means we can see, if we have given here, if we are going to consider acetic acid. Okay, now CH3COOH, we have taken here 10. Okay, if we have taken 10, see properly, simple C. Okay, now if we have taken here 100 molecules of CH3COOH. Okay, now we are going to consider 100 molecules of CH3COOH. Then it forms only 10 to 15 CH3COO minus ions plus 10 plus 10 H plus ions. Okay, now see, out of 100 only 10 acetic acid molecules are going to be dissociated. Okay, now the how much fraction is going to be dissociated? Only 10, the fraction of total number of moles of electrolyte that dissociate its own ions when the equilibrium is attained, and it is called as degree of dissociation. Now see, the degree of dissociation, it is denoted by sign alpha. That means this alpha sign, degree of dissociation is denoted by alpha sign. Okay, now see, degree of dissociation is equal to number of moles dissociated divided by total number of moles. Okay, now what we have given here, now what we have seen before, that 100, now degree of dissociation, it is denoted by alpha. Okay, so we can write here degree of dissociation alpha is equal to number of moles dissociated. How much number of moles dissociated? 10 moles are dissociated. Okay, divided by what? Divided by total number of moles. How much moles we have taken? We have taken a 10 moles. Okay, now the fraction of this will become 0.1. Okay, so the degree of dissociation is 0.1. Okay, so it is called as a degree of dissociation. Now see, we are going to see percent dissociation. Now what is meant by percent dissociation? Now percent dissociation is nothing but the 100 into, now we can say it as a what? Percent dissociation. Now see, the percent dissociation is equal to alpha. Alpha means degree of dissociation into 100. Okay, what we have seen here? Now we have seen 0.1 for acetic acid. We have taken 100 acetic acid molecules, out of which only 10 molecules are going to be dissociated. Now we are going to calculate the degree of dissociation and percent dissociation of acetic acid. Now we have calculated here degree of dissociation is 0.1%, and if we are going to multiply it by 100, then we'll get the percent dissociation. Now 0.1 into 100 is equal to 10%. Therefore the percent dissociation for the acetic acid molecule is 10%. Okay, now in this way we can calculate the percent dissociation for any given substance. Okay, now see, if C is the molar concentration of an electrolyte, then the equilibrium concentration of cation or anion is given by formula. Now see, we can consider it as what? Equilibrium concentration of cation or anion is equal to degree of dissociation into C. Okay, now see, if we have taken, now we have already calculated the degree of dissociation for the acetic acid is 0.1%. Now see, we are going to consider alpha for acetic acid is equal to 0.1. Okay, now equilibrium concentration of cations or anions. Okay, for if we have given here 1 molar acetic acid. Okay, now see, this is the concentration in moles per decimeter cube. Now see, the alpha is equal to 0.1 into C, and what C we have given here? Now C, it is a 1 molar. Okay, so that means 0.1 into 1, that means the equilibrium concentration of cations or anions is equal to 0.1. In this way we can calculate the degree of dissociation, percent dissociation, and equilibrium concentration of cations or anions. Okay, now see, now before this we have seen only a simple definitions of acids and bases. Okay, but now we are going to see the 3 different theories of acids and bases. Okay, now we are going to see these are in. Okay, now which are the 3 theories we are going to study? Now first theory, it is called as Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. Second one is Bronsted-Lowry theory. Third one, Levy's theory of acids and bases. Okay, now generally what we have seen, the compounds or substances which produces H plus and OH minus ions in their aqueous solutions, such substances are called as acids and base respectively. Okay, now these definitions are according to Arrhenius theory. So we are going to first see Arrhenius theory of acids and bases. Okay, now see respective, what are the acids according to. Now definition of acids according to Arrhenius theory. First one for acids, a substance which contains hydrogen. The substance which contains hydrogen and gives rise to H plus ions in aqueous solutions are called as acids. Okay, that means when the substance we have dissolved in water or mixed in water which contains the H plus ions, okay, sorry, which produces the H plus ions, such substances are called as acids. For example, HCl, hydrochloric acid, which produces H plus plus Cl minus ions. HCl produces H plus plus Cl minus ions in aqueous solution. Okay, in the same way, now acetic acid. Acetic acid produces CH3COO minus, CH3COO minus plus H plus ions. Okay, now in the same way, sulfuric acid produces H plus. Now it produces two H plus ions plus SO4 2 minus ions in their aqueous solutions. Therefore, these are called as acids according to Arrhenius theory. Okay, in the same way we are going to see Arrhenius bases. Okay, now how we can define the base according to Arrhenius theory? A substance which contains OH minus ion, or which contains hydroxide group. Hydroxide group means OH group. The substance which contains OH group and produces hydroxide ions. Hydroxide ions means OH minus ions in aqueous solution. Such substances are called as bases. Okay, now see ammonium hydroxide NH4OH, sodium hydroxide NaOH, KOH, potassium hydroxides. Okay, all these substances contains OH group. All these substances contains OH group and produces OH minus ions in their aqueous solution. Now see, if we considered here NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide NH4OH, okay, already it contains hydroxide group, that means OH group. Okay, now on dissociation or when mixed in water, it produces ammonium NH4 plus OH minus ions in aqueous solution. Okay, so these are called as bases. Okay, in the same way, now see for the sodium hydroxide. Okay, CnAOH in aqueous. Okay, now double headed arrow, equilibrium. Okay, it produces Na plus in aqueous. Okay, plus OH minus in aqueous. Okay, so therefore the sodium hydroxide is also a base according to Arrhenius theory. Now see the one more example of base, it is KOH, potassium hydroxide, KOH in what? In water, that means in aqueous solution. Okay, equilibrium is denoted by double headed arrow. It produces K plus in aqueous plus OH minus in aqueous. Okay, so this is an also example of Arrhenius base. Okay, now see next theory. Okay, so Arrhenius theory accounts for the, now one drawback of Arrhenius theory is there. Now it can be applicable only for the substances which contains the H plus and OH minus ions only, but it does not account for the basicity of ammonia and sodium carbonate, because see in ammonia and in sodium carbonate, now see here in ammonia and in sodium carbonate there is absence of OH group. There is absence of OH group, hydroxide group. Therefore, this theory unable to explain the basicity of ammonia as well as sodium carbonate, or the substances which are basic in nature but which does not contains the OH group, and this is the drawback of Arrhenius theory. Okay, now see we are going to see next theory of Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases. Okay, now according to Bronsted-Lowry theory, of acids and bases. Now how we can define the acids as per the Bronsted-Lowry theory? Now see, the substances which donates H plus ions. Now donates H plus ions, which gives the H plus ions to another substances, are called as acids. In the opposite, now the substances which accepts the proton, the substances which accepts the proton, are called as bases. Now this is the basic difference between the Lons acids and bases defined by Bronsted-Lowry theory. Now see, what are the acids? The substances which donates H plus ions to another substances are called as acids, while the substances which accepts the ions from the another substances are called as bases. Okay, now see, now these are the example of acids and bases, and in this theory, that means in Bronsted-Lowry theory, we are going to see one new concept that is called as conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now what are the conjugate acids and what are the conjugate base? Before that, just see one example here. Now see, HCl, hydrochloric acid. Okay, now it contains the H plus group, hydrogen atom, NH3. Now see, now HCl is acid. It gives H plus ions to ammonia. Ammonia is a base. Nitrogen having a lone pair of electron which accepts the H plus ions, and it produces the NH4 plus ions with Cl minus ions. Now see, we are going to first upon see conjugate acid and conjugate base. Now see, which example we have seen? Hydrochloric acid reacts with ammonia which produces NH4 plus ammonium ion and Cl minus ion. Now see, hydrochloric acid, now you have written here acid 1. Now see, acid and base. Okay, but now HCl has given H plus ion to ammonia. Okay, therefore according to Bronsted-Lowry theory, HCl is acid. Okay, now see, the substances which accept H plus ions, that means here one H plus ion is taken by ammonia, that means NH3. Okay, and due to it has taken one H plus ions. Now this, okay, reversible reaction. Okay, now see, it produces the NH4 plus Cl minus. Okay, now if we consider the reversible reaction, now NH4 plus is giving its hydrogen to Cl minus, and it produces HCl and NH3. That means see, we are going to see, if we have considered here reverse reaction, NH4 plus, now see once again, NH4 plus Cl minus. Okay, now it has taken what? It has taken here, it produces HCl plus NH3. Okay, now see, consider this one is reversible arrow. Okay, now see, what are the conjugate acid? The acids produced when a base accept a proton is called as conjugate acid. Okay, now see, HCl has given H plus ions to ammonia. It produces NH4 plus, therefore it is called as conjugate acid. Okay, now see, and of what? Of conjugate base, that means this is the base. Okay, now see, or we can simply remember as it is. Okay, therefore now you have given, for example, NH4 plus, sorry, no, by mistakenly it is a not NH3 plus, it is a NH4 plus is a conjugate acid of NH3 is a base. Now see, you have to remember here how to identify conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now see, conjugate acid base pair having a difference of one hydrogen ion. Okay, now see, if we have subtracted NH3 from NH4 plus, then what will left there? Only H plus ions. Okay, now see, therefore it is called as conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now see, in the same way how we can going to define the conjugate base. The base produced by accepting proton from an acid is called as conjugate base of that acid. Okay, now simply see here, in this one is acid, sorry, this one is, now see, HCl is acid and here Cl minus. Okay, now here it is a difference of what? Difference of one H plus ion or one hydrogen atom. Therefore this is called as a HCl is a conjugate acid of Cl minus. Okay, now see conjugate base. The base produced by accepting a proton from an acid is the conjugate base of that acid. Now see, for example, Cl minus is a conjugate base of HCl. Now most important is that conjugate acid base pair. Now how to identify the conjugate acid base pair or how to define the conjugate acid base pair? Now the pair of an acid and base differing by proton. Proton means H plus ions. What we have to remember? Proton means H plus ions is said to be a conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now see, the pair of an acid and base differing by a proton is said to be a conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now one more example you have given here. You just try to identify the conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now how to identify? Now you have given the example of HCl is mixed with water or dissolved in water. Now see, HCl produces H plus ions, that means HCl gives H plus ion or proton to water molecule and it produces H3O plus. Oxygen having a lone pair of electron, they are giving lone pair of electron to accept the H plus ions and Cl minus ion. Okay, now what definition we have seen for conjugate acid and base pair? Difference of H plus ion or differ by proton. Okay, now see, consider here HCl and Cl minus. Now see, consider HCl and Cl minus. HCl and Cl minus. Here is the difference of H plus ions or difference of proton. Therefore HCl is conjugate acid and Cl minus is conjugate base. Okay, now in the same way for the water and H3O plus. Now see, water and H3O plus, H2O and H3O plus. Okay, now see, H2O plus and H3O plus. What we have given here? Here only 2 hydrogen atoms, here 3 hydrogen atom. That means the difference of hydrogen, it is 1 hydrogen. That means the differ by proton. Therefore they are called as conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now which one is the conjugate acid and which one is the conjugate base? Those having a proton are called as conjugate acid. Therefore H3O plus is a conjugate acid. H3O plus is conjugate acid. H3O plus is a conjugate acid, while H H2O is a conjugate base, or we can say it as what? Conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now see, therefore these are the conjugate acid base pair. So if we have given any reaction there and a question is asked for identify the conjugate acid base pair, then you have to simply remember the definition of conjugate acid base pair. And what is the definition of conjugate acid base pair? A pair of an acid and a base differing by a proton is called as conjugate acid base pair. Okay, now see, next and third theory is that Levy's theory of acids and bases. Okay, now generally we are writing the Levy's acids in the organic reactions. Okay, now what is the role of these organic reactions? And that time we are generally saying that Levy's acids. Now what are the Levy's acids? The species that accepts a pair of electron. The species that accepts a pair of electron are called as acids, while the species that donates a pair of electron are called as Levy's bases. For example, we have seen incomplete octet and expanded octet. Okay, now generally see, AlCl3, FeCl3, then acetic anhydride. These are the examples of Levy's acids. Okay, just because of what? They are giving electrons to the another one in chemical reactions, or they can accept the pair of electrons, so therefore they are called as Levy's acids, and those are going to donate are called as Levy's bases. Okay, now most of the see, okay, now questions are here for the, okay, now for the today, just remember the definition of ionic equilibria, examples of ionic equilibria, then types of substances. That means what is meant by strong electrolytes, what is meant by weak electrolytes. Okay, and definition examples of strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes, what is meant by degree of dissociation, then formulas for the degree of dissociation, percent dissociation, and equilibrium, concentration of cations and anions. And after that we have seen the Arrhenius theory of acids and base, three theories of acids and bases, out of which first one is Arrhenius theory, second one is Bronsted-Lowry theory, and third one is Levy's acid base theory. Okay, now for today this much is sufficient. Okay, now tomorrow we are going to see the examples of Levy's